Hey guys, it's Kelsey and I'm back with another scrapbooking process video. So today I am doing another 3 photo page. So we're going to see if I can make this look a little bit more different than the past couple I've done, because I know whenever I do this layout they end up looking very similar. So I'm stacking them how I usually like to do in this vertical column. I'm going to end up tossing them to one of the sides of the pages and embellish from there. But I did decide to pull out some of my Maggie Holmes. So which one is this one? This is Chasing Dreams and a little bit of Flourish. So I have a ton of these products. What happened was, when I was baby scrapbooker and saw everyone creating and binged on YouTube videos myself, I saw everyone creating with Maggie Holmes crepe paper. I feel like it was always a favorite product. And so whenever I saw it, I was like, oh, look, I can be like all the other people who make pretty things. So I bought them. And then once I started working with it, I realized it's not my style. It's very pretty. They have lots of pretty products, and I own a lot of them. But I realized that I don't work well with them. We don't get along, and it makes me really sad because they're really pretty. But I decided, I'm not buying any new products yet. Creativation is around the corner, and then we can see all the new products coming out 2020. Very excited about it. But I've put a temporary spending freeze, especially after Black Friday and kind of splurging a little bit at the end of 2019. I realized, I need to just cool it, use the stuff I have, and then if I can use up a little bit of what's in my stash, then I'll feel a little bit better about buying some of the new collections. If you guys saw my scrap room tour, I don't have a huge stash to begin with. But a large quantity, embarrassing enough, is like Maggie Holmes and crepe paper that I just avoid. So, yeah, that's where we are today. I decided to pull out a 12 by 12 from the Gather collection, as well as a floral piece, which you'll see in a minute. And then I have some ephemera pieces and this wood grain frame from the Flourish collection, I believe. I thought the wood grain looked really, really nice, especially with this pink background paper. So I'm using one of the cut aparts of this cute little girl and backing the wood grain frame with that. And then you can see my little layered embellishment sticker sheet to the right there. I believe that is also Flourish. So I want to try and get some of that used up, as well as some of the Gather paper pad. These florals I fussy cut off screen really quick. That's from another 12 by 12 from the Gather collection, so I figured I could use those as embellishment clusters. So that's where I'm starting. So I really, really like the butterflies that are in the layered sticker sheet. I think they're super, super cute. Or are those moths? Are those moths? Those aren't butterflies, are they? They're moths. I don't know. Insects, winged beautiful insects, and there are 3 of them. So right away I'm like, these are pretty. They go with the Gather collection, so I'm thinking those will be amongst my visual triangle wherever that ends up. I know that this frame that I've already put together is going to be the main embellishment cluster, and then I'm just thinking I'm going to want 2 other areas somewhere to create a visual triangle. So you can see me playing here. I'm trying to layer up a few of these florals behind the frame. I already have a floral in the upper right hand corner. So with those 2 areas, I then think I will have a small cluster on the middle area of the left side of the page, just so I can triangulate these photos with my visual triangle. So you'll see me mess with that a lot. Trying to play with which floral I want where. I'm trying to be strategic about how I layer them, because certain areas of the florals or the leaves is cut off from where it either ran off the page on the 12 by 12 or ran behind another floral. So I'm just trying to figure out a way where I have them shown off without the pieces that are cut off showing, if that makes sense. So trying to toy around with placement a little bit. But I really like how this is turning out. I was really surprised because I sat down and I was like, I've got to use some of these products that have been sitting here all year. They're pretty. I do like them. But I thought I was going to struggle a lot more than I actually did once I started going. But yeah, I think part of it helped. I just tried to go back to what I felt comfortable with. I'm already stepping out of the box a little bit using these products. So I tried to still very much do my go-to design with this type of layout, but I didn't want it to look like I'd made it before, even though I was using the same principles. So I did layer up a doily and a glassine bag just to beef up that larger cluster a little bit. I think those look really nice and fresh coming out from that darker wood grain, because that is such a heavy element. And I also think that floral helps brighten that up a little bit and adds a little bit more color. I also have the sticker sheet from Flourish, so I'm picking a few things off of there, and the chipboard. I have so much of the Florist collection because most of it was at Tuesday mornings, and I was like, oh, this is pretty, I've seen people use this, I should get it, and then I got it and never used it. So I'm trying to pull bits and pieces from all the different things. So I have this flat sticker from the sticker sheet that says plant kindness, grow love, and then I pulled out the chipboard, and there were 3 foiled hearts, so I decided I would get those in there too. Since I know I want a visual triangle, I figured I could have a butterfly and a heart in each cluster, and that would work out well. But I like this placement. I'm just trying to figure out where exactly I want these florals, but I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to start gluing down this cluster with the frame. I do pop some foam up behind the floral just because it is going over that wood grain frame. That way it lays flat. But I like that, so I'm going to get that down. I think it helped not trying to pull in a ton of paper. I think it made it easier on myself when I decided, okay, use this paper and then just pull in a couple embellishments you liked. And that really helped me kind of get through using these products that I'm not really comfortable with. And I don't know why they're pretty. Like I don't understand why I have a hard time working with Crepe Paper Maggie home products, because when I look at my One Canoe 2 and my Felicity Jane, like, they're both pretty. They both have florals. They both have, I don't understand why I can work with those really easily, but I get stuck with these. I think most of it is like a lot of the cream-based stuff throws me off, maybe. I don't know. But I'm really proud of myself how this one came together. So you saw me throw that floral on the left side of the page to complete my visual triangle. So I'm roughly thinking those will be where the 3 clusters are. I wanted to beef up again this little cluster down here with the floral. That floral was hanging off of the frame looking real weird. So I just took a scrap of this wood grain paper I had from the Gather collection and cut a banner to create a little shelf to anchor that floral so it's not floating off into nowhere, no man's land. I also did take some washi that just has some gold foiled polka dots on it. Since I know I'm going to be pulling in those foiled hearts, I wanted a little bit of gold glimmer somewhere else on the page. So I pulled in that washi as a little horizontal strip underneath that as well. So there's that. I did repeat the washi on the left side of those photos. I keep trying to do this whenever I have a layout like this with 3. I try and border the left side of the photos and leave the right side not bordered, and then it always looks uneven, and I always go back and do the same thing to the right side. So I will go back and add washi to the right side of those photos too. I don't know why I just didn't go ahead and do it to begin with. Yeah, I did layer the Plant Kindness Grow Love sticker over this floral. I think that looks really nice. I end up just using that as my title. At one point I started thinking about what my title should be and where I would even put it, and honestly, this again is on Oahu, Hawaii. These are I think they're called Kukani Loco. I did a page of them already. I can't remember off the top of my head, but the birthing stone site, I've talked about it before. You guys have seen pages before. So there's lots of pages around this one that talk about these birthing stones. So I really didn't feel like I needed an actual title or journaling to describe where we were. So I'm okay just having that Plant Kindness Grow Love here. So I feel like that makes sense, And then I do just flip-flop my florals around. That floral was looking really heavy in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm just playing around with maybe switching it out to a different floral. So I play for a while with that. What you'll eventually end up seeing, I keep trying to make this visual triangle work with 3 distinct embellishment clusters. But what I realize after I keep going is the one in the upper right-hand corner just looks detached and unnecessary because the cluster on the bottom with that frame is so large and dominant. So you'll see what I do, but I end up just building that cluster up instead of creating a 3rd cluster in the upper right hand corner. But it takes me a while to figure that out because I'm just set on doing this visual triangle thing and having 3 areas of embellishment. So after I let that go, it comes together. But for right now, I was tired of messing with that corner, so I thought I'd get my embellishment cluster on the left side of the page down. So I did take another scrap of a doily so that element could be mirrored across the page. I'm taking another one of those little florals and tucking it in there. And I don't know what I'm doing now. I do have leaves. I'm adding a little bit of leaves that I fussy cut as well from that same paper pad. So really, I'm just trying to make sure the same elements and colors are in this cluster that were in the main cluster minus the wood grain. So I have the doily, the floral. I wanted a little bit of yellow since there is some yellow in the floral to the right, but not on the left. So adding those leaves helped. And here are those cute little chipboard foiled hearts. So I'm going to clean up my edge a little bit. My photos didn't quite reach the top of the page, so I just trimmed the page down a tiny bit to accommodate. But that's pretty much the left-hand cluster, or at least the base of it. Again, I'm trying with these butterflies. I know I want these butterfly/moths on this page. I'm just not quite sure where. I love how this butterfly looks down here with the floral. I think it looks super cute layered over the floral like that. But there's the frame, and then the floral is also on some foam, and then this butterfly has dimension. So having this butterfly over those other layers just made it too thick for me. I didn't want my page to have that much dimension, especially just in that one area. So that's why I decided not to put it there, although I did like it there. I love this pink butterfly on the left side of the page. So I know that butterfly is there. That cluster to the left is pretty much complete. But I do still need to figure out where to put these other two butterflies. So again, trying with my cluster in the upper right hand corner. I even glued that down. I was sure I was going to do this visual triangle thing. But I was trying to get a butterfly to work with the way the floral was layered, and it just was unnecessary. So once I kind of figured it out, we're good. So I'm slightly moving the butterflies to the left and deciding I'm just going to creep up the left side of the photos instead of having a cluster up there. And it makes so much more sense now. Again, still trying to do 3. I'm still wanting 3 distinct clusters, but once I move this floral down, and it was like, okay, let's just build off of this one cluster instead of doing 2 distinct clusters, and it flowed so much better. So I'm happy about that. I was still trying to keep my butterflies spread out in 3 areas to keep the visual triangle that way, but I decided just to have them next to each other floating up the page, and I like that. That looks good to me. And that way the dimension of the butterflies isn't competing with the dimension of the frame at all. So that really helps in them getting that last heart on there. So I do like that the hearts are spread around in 3 different areas because I get, 3 spaced around with that. And then I do go in with some white Nouveau drops and just do a couple dots next to all of the hearts just to complete the cluster. But I think that's pretty much it. I'm cleaning up a little bit here. But here's the end of the page. So I'm pretty proud of myself. Used some Maggie Holmes and crepe paper that's been sitting in my stash for a while. And I got a multiple photo page done. So this is a giveaway video. So make sure you comment in this video. So you guys, we're up to over 1,100. So I'm going to send out another one of my hashtag sticker books. I do still have the Jen Hadfield, the Maggie Holmes, the Dear Lizzie, and the Chamel hashtag sticker books. So just let me know which one you want. And in a week, I will pull a winner and send it to you. Thank you guys so much. I can't believe it. You guys are awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.